Ladies and gentlemen, EA have done something I've never done before, and they've given us an icon Trophy Titans Bergkamp objective. The first time we have ever had an icon in objectives, and as an Arsenal fan, I am especially buzzing for this because I can get my hands on a first owner, Dennis Bergkamp. As for the card, he's 6 foot, 4-star, medium. He's essentially just a +1 on his prime icon, which is roughly 160k on the market. So if this were to be on the market, it'd probably be 200,000 coins odd. So it's pretty nice for objectives. Now, we will go over all of these, and I do just want to say, I know all of these, they look stressful, they look overwhelming, but we're going to break it down, go objective by objective, explain how they work, if I have to build a squad builder, or what I can do about the squad builder to help you guys. And without further ado, boys, let's get into it. Remember, this does look overwhelming, and my number one tip for when an objective does look overwhelming, don't look at all of them and try to remember what to do and be like, oh shit. What you want to do is just go by them step by step and then just slowly read through them from the top down to the bottom. So first of all, we've got pick the corner, score 5 Finesse goals with a Dutch player in squad battles on at least semi-pro, or you can do this in Rivals, or you can do it in FUT Champs. Once again, EA putting the FUT Champs option is absolutely beautiful because FUT Champs playoffs do count that, and I know, like myself, many people would much rather do objectives in FUT Champs playoffs than Division Rivals, especially if you are in a very high division. But for a Finesse goal with a Dutch player, obviously a Dutch player, someone from Netherlands, you can choose who you wish. If you've got no one in your club, then there's some few cheap beasts, like you can get a road to the final Donyal Malian for 20,000 coins, or if you're doing this in squad battles, you could just buy his gold rare card for 700 coins. But if you're unsure on how to do a finesse shot, here is an example. To score a finesse shot, all you have to do is press down on the right bumper plus shoot. So R1 plus circle if you are on PlayStation, RB plus B if you are on Xbox. Very self-explanatory. Obviously, whilst pressing this, you are going to want to aim in the direction you want to shoot the ball. Got play 5 matches in squad battles, Rivals or FUT Champs with at least 6 Dutch players in your starting 11. Play 10 matches with at least 6 players, including Base Bergkamp, who you get from the previous objective, which is quite nice from EA. So you get this Bergkamp, you get him in your squad, and then you have to play 10 games. Along with Bergkamp, you need 5 other Dutch players, because he'll be counting as one Dutch player himself. Score and assist using Base Bergkamp in 10 separate matches. Once again, squad battles or Rivals or Champs, it's generally just down to the position you're in. If you're in a lower division like Div 5 or lower, and with lower I mean Div 6, Div 7, Div 8, etc. Not too hard of a division. Sure, you could do it in there because those are often high-scoring games. Even if you lose and you're still like around that level, there are a lot more high-scoring games. Whereas if you're in like Div 2, Div 1, Elite Div, or even just mainly Div 1 and Elite Div, I will warn you, it is very boring, it is very sweaty, and it'll be very hard to get the objectives done there. Next up, we've got win 15 matches in squad battles with at least 6 Dutch players, including Base Bergkamp in your starting 11. We've got play 12 matches in squad battles on at least semi-pro with at least 6 Dutch players, including Prime Bergkamp, who you get from this objective here, in your starting 11. We've got score and assist using Prime Bergkamp in 20 separate games, and win 15 matches with at least 6 Dutch players, including Prime Bergkamp. This is going to take a lot of games, boys. Like, is this what, 40 odd games, or probably even more? So it is going to be a pretty long grind. In fact, if we do want to break it down and see how many games it will take us to do it, the score 5 finesse goals with a Dutch player in squad battles, you can try get that done in the same game. With this one as well, you can do that like double up, so you can get the finesse goals with Dutch players whilst playing a match with 6 Dutch players in your starting 11. So that's going to be 5 games that will take you. So obviously you'll complete the 5 here, and within that you'll get the finesse goals. Play 10 matches with Base Bergkamp, so that's 15 games. Score and assist using Base Bergkamp in 10 separate matches. Well, you can get that done whilst you're doing this, so that doesn't change anything. That's still 15 games, because once again, lots of it is doubling up. For example, you'll be trying to score and assist using Bergkamp in every single match you play whilst you're playing these 10 games. So kind of like, once again, doubling up on it. So that's still 15 games, win 15 matches with at least 6 Dutch players, including Base Bergkamp. Now that adds an extra 5, assuming you win all 10 of your first ones. So that is going to be 20 games. You've got play 12 matches with Prime Bergkamp in your squad. So that is going to be, was that 32 games. Score and assist using Prime Bergkamp. Well, if you score and assist with him within those 12 games as well, then that will only leave you with 8 more games to score and assist with, which will be 40 games, and then to win 15 matches with Prime Bergkamp, I think as well. you can kind of double up on with like these ones. And in fact, by the time you've done this, you'll probably get the win. So around 32 or 40 games, was it? So I think I was right in my short estimate at the beginning. But it's a matter of just trying to double up lots of them and doing 2 birds with 1 stone. Instead of focusing on a singular objective at a time, you'd be wanting to like score and assist using a prime Bergkamp in 20 separate matches. Obviously, whilst you're playing 12 matches with 6 Dutch players, including prime Bergkamp, within those 12 matches, you'll be trying to score an assist in every game, which means by the time you've done that one, you'll only have 8 left of these to do, if that makes sense. For the quote-unquote squad builder, it's a pretty easy job for me today. Now, we need 6 Dutch players in the starting squad. Now, as you can see, I've got Cruyff here. I've only got 1 Dutch player, so you'll simply want to go ahead and search for Netherlands, which is obviously what Dutch are. Search your club for them. I mean, I could use prime Bergkamp already, but and that can kind of like speed up. If you've already got like a prime Bergkamp, then happy days, you can do the prime Bergkamp objectives, but you'll still have to do the ones with the mid and the base, so that's really kind of irrelevant. But I could go my Van der Sar, I've got Depay, I've got Coit, so you want to get all of the Dutch players in your squad, and you guys will probably have different Dutch players to the Dutch players that I have, right? Now, when it comes to this, what you can do is just simply go ahead and pick up some cheap Dutch players. You say I put my Depay here, that's 2 Dutch boys. I put my Van Dijk here, that's 3 Dutch boys, 4 Dutch boys, and we'll put Coit over Zidane, 5 Dutch boys, and at right back, there we go. That's my 6 Dutch players, and then we can get started, go on to the games. And then obviously when we do unlock Bergkamp, it's including Bergkamp, so I need to get Bergkamp in the squad along with 5 other Dutchmen. So I mean, all in all, right, you need 6 of your 11 players to be Dutch. And as I was saying, if you don't have much Dutch players in your squad or in your club like I do myself, then you can just pick up some lower tier ones, because trust me, for this tip I'm about to show you guys in squad battles, it does not matter if you're rocking some average gold rare cards. For example, Dutch centre backs, you could pick up Frimpong for 1,000 coins, you could pick up Timber for 1,000 coins, Malacia for 1,000 coins. That's 3 Dutch players already, and this is obviously only if you do not have any other good Dutch players in your club. You've got Gravenberg, you've got Dan Juma. Just pick up some cheap Dutch boys, and if you have to, you can sub them off. Now lads, this is the squad battles tip, and this is very important. Now, I am going to be doing this, and we're going to base the objectives in squad battles as we usually do, because that's the easiest, but this is essentially a way that you can play a poor team every single game you play, which means if you play it on semi-pro against a really poor team, you can basically, if you are an above average player, you can essentially go undefeated in squad battles, right? It's still going to be time consuming, and as I said, some still will prefer FUT Champs or Division Rivals, but if you are going to do it in squad battles, 40 games of squad battles, by the way, is 10-15 hours worth of grind, alright? It's not a joke, so you will need not 1, not 2, not 3, but probably 4 or 5 Netflix films, and you can work through this for a while. I've got to have a look at how long the objectives are there for, but we'll have another look at that shortly. It's under the milestone section, so I'll assume it's there for the rest of the season. Now, what the tip is essentially every single time squad battles or EA give you 4 games to select from. We've got a 91 with 27 chem, a 90 with 32, an 89 with 24, but a 65 with 15. Often they give you 2 very high tier teams, sometimes like an average one and then a poor one, but if you're lucky and in the same selection, they'll give you 2 really bad ones. But this 65 rating with 15 chemistry, we could absolutely, I mean, the players are invisible, but we could absolutely obliterate this team. So you choose semi-pro, and we can go into the game, and we can absolutely obliterate it, get all of the goals we need. The goals and assists with Bergkamp is basically guaranteed, which could obviously save you quite a bit, because if you are doing the objectives and fail to get a goal and assist with Bergkamp, then it will set you back a game, because obviously 2 birds with 1 stone, as we were talking about earlier. So you're pretty much guaranteed to win like at least 5, 6, 7-0. Obviously it does depend on your skill level, but semi-pro is not too tough of a difficulty against a very poor team. Now, what is the twist? As you can see, and I will circle it, by pressing square on the PlayStation or X if you are on Xbox, you will have the option to refresh your opponents. Now we will refresh them, and once again, we've got a 77 rated with 0 chem, and the rest are pretty good. So we'd be playing the 77 rated with 0 chemistry here. Once again, a team that you could be pretty comfortable to play it on. Now you're probably going, that update opponents option is no longer there. Well, essentially, between every time you update your opponents, there's a 10 to 15 minute cooldown on it. Within 10 or 15 minutes, which conveniently enough is around the time it takes to complete a game, that option will be there. So you can do a constant cycle of playing the worst team. By the time you've played that first team and out, you'll have the option to update your opponents. So then we can update our opponents again, play the worst team in the selection, update our opponents, flavor word, update opponents. You have got unlimited update refreshes as well, so you can do this as much as you want. I do want to clarify, if you do go over your 10 game limit, or sorry, your 10 refresh limit, and you do go over the 40 matches played as circled, it will still count towards objectives. It just means as soon as you go over that, your squad battle points will stop counting towards your rank, but that's fine because we are just doing it for the objectives anyway. And then, as I said, if you were to do it in Division Rivals or FUT Champs playoffs, or even FUT Champs finals if you want, then you want to be getting the Dutch boys in your squad or in your starting 11, and you just want to sub them off straight away, because you can make 5 subs a match. So you have to go in with 6 Dutch boys, you can make use of your 5 super subs. So that is the only tip if you are wanting to do it online. Now for the recap, and we're going to try to do this recap as quickly as possible, alright lads, to score 5 Finesse goals with a Dutch player. Now don't go into a match and just try to get the 5 Finesse goals with a singular Dutch player. Like, don't have just one Dutch boy trying to get the Finesse goals with, especially if you're doing it in squad battles or something, because you may as well double up and you may as well start your progress on the play 5 matches here as well. So get the 6 Dutch boys in your squad is the first thing you want to do, and then you can go into a match. You want to try get those 5, don't even have to win, just want to play the 5 matches with the Dutch players. So you could do this in champs playoffs or rivals if you want, because you do not have to win this. But whilst you're at it, you want to get the Finesse goals, so that will take you 5 games. You'll unlock a base Dennis Bergkamp. I was going to say a base Dennis Bergkamp, which you then want to go ahead, chuck in your squad along with 5 other Dutch players to get that minimum 6 Dutch players requirement, and you'll play 10 matches in squad battles on at least semi-pro or rivals or FUT Champs with at least 6 Dutch players, including base Bergkamps, obviously including Bergkamp within that Dutch requirement. And then obviously whilst you are doing that, you want to try and score and assist using Bergkamp in those 10 separate games. And if you can score and assist in every single game, as I said, going back to what we said earlier, then you can double up and you can like 10 games for both of these if you can score and assist with them in every one. Win 15 matches as well if you want to try and win them, then you'll be absolutely perfect, because then you'd only need, whoops, I just went out of it, because you only need 5 more wins and you can get your Prime Bergkamp, which you then want to play 12 matches with Prime Bergkamp and 5 other Dutch players, score and assist using Bergkamp in 20, and then just winning 15. As I said, I think it's 32 or 40 games we worked out minimum, assuming you do it in the least time possible. So it's a long objective, but good luck boys. Remember to double up on lots of the objectives, and chuck a film or 2 or 5 or 6 on. Maybe a good time to plug my Twitch, because we stream every morning at roughly 10 in the morning UK time. Sometimes we stream 3 to 5 hours, 5 days a week. So chuck me a follow on Twitch, alright? And maybe I could be some good company for you. It's been your boy Davis, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy grinding.